My brother and his girlfriend came to stay with us for the weekend, but before they left, I demanded to check their bags since my daughter couldn't find a few of her toys, and sure enough, they were there with some extra clothes they tried to steal. I, 39F, have a brother, 32M, who I'll call Chase. Chase has been with this girl, 35F, that I'll call Vivian for almost 2 years now. About a month into their relationship, Vivian got pregnant with my nephew who is now almost a year old. Vivian also has 2 daughters, 5F and 8F, from a previous relationship. Her daughters are very close in age to my daughter, 7F, and up until last weekend everyone got along fine. They live in a different state than us but come to visit fairly often and stay with us because we have the extra room. Last weekend they came to stay again, and about an hour before they left my daughter noticed that a few of her favorite toys were missing. The girls were playing all weekend, so I didn't think much of it and offered to help her look for them. After about 20 minutes of searching we could not find the toys anywhere, so I asked Vivian's girls if they remembered where they were playing with them last. The girls said no but acted a little guilty about it. I asked Chase and Vivian about it and Chase said he saw the exact toys in the room that Vivian's girls were sleeping in. We went to check and they were not there. He asked Vivian if she had moved them when she packed the girls' things that morning and she said they were not there. We went back into the living room and I saw Vivian's girls huddled close together over a backpack and quickly closed it when they saw we were there. Chase asked the girls again if they knew where the toys were and this time they didn't say anything and just looked at their mom. Chase reached for the bag and Vivian lost it. She started yelling at me how dare I accuse her daughters of stealing and she tried to snatch the bag away. Chase opened it and there were the missing toys plus a few more. I was absolutely furious. I told her I wanted to see what else she had and demanded she open the 2 suitcases. She said that was an invasion of her privacy and tried to take them and leave. Chase stopped her and made her open them. She had taken several tops, a few skirts and dresses, and a brand new pair of Nikes that belonged to my daughter. I took everything back and told her she and her girls were not allowed back into my home. I have since received several texts from her and a few unknown numbers telling me I embarrassed her and upset her girls because they were promised the items. Chase is upset with her but said I was too mean to her in front of everyone and that I could have handled the situation more privately. I do feel awful that her girls left crying, but am I a jerk for how I handled the situation? Edit. Answers to a few questions I keep getting. I am not sure who promised the girls the items. She would not elaborate but I'm assuming it was her. She wanted me to pull her aside into a different room away from Chase and the kids to talk the situation out. Also yes, I'm 99% sure the baby is his. He is almost a carbon copy of my brother when he was a baby. I do not believe the girls knew they were stealing the things. I really believe that their mom told them I said it was okay. We have never had problems with the girls before this. They really seem to be good kids. Also, I'll be talking with my brother tonight or tomorrow to discuss things further. Edit number 2. I will be speaking with my brother in about an hour. I have been in contact with someone that knows her and a lot has come to light. I will update again if my brother says I can, as it's his life and not mine. Vivian is not at all who she claims to be. Update 1. Thank you all so much for the responses. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get to everyone's comments as I really didn't think this would take off. I talked with my brother last night and showed him a lot of your comments and suggestions, and thanks to someone in the comments we now know a lot more about Vivian and the kind of person she really is. I will not be able to tell you all everything, but I can tell you that my brother and nephew are now staying with us while he gets a DNA test and proceeds to cut ties with her. I may have more to give you all in the coming days or weeks depending on what the paternity test says. Again, thank you all so much. Commenter, NTA, I may not have thought to open the suitcases. I would have thought the girls just stole the toys, but the clothes makes it seem like it was Vivian's act, especially if the girls were promised them. Who else would promise them? Your brother, his wife and children/stepchildren shouldn't be invited back. Anyone saying anything to you can host them themselves or STFU. OP, I normally wouldn't have thought to check either, but the way she grabbed them and tried to leave set off all the warning bells in my head. Update 2. Well, this has certainly blown up, but who am I to deny the people of what they want? Cost lore. For obvious reasons I'm going to be a little vague with certain details for privacy reasons. Mainly I don't want this crazy train coming back into my life, and hopefully you'll understand why by the end. So buckle up people, this one is long and wild. And please don't judge me, we don't associate with any of these people anymore and haven't for over a decade. Also, I will say that she is a very pretty girl and has usually gotten whatever she wants from men, so she's not used to hearing no. 2005, when I was 18, my then boyfriend, now husband, and I were invited to a house party hosted by a friend of a friend to celebrate graduation. We knew about half the people there and had been to the house a handful of times before. We were all hanging out in the basement, and after a few drinks, I went upstairs to use the bathroom, and that's where I met Kos, who was 14 at the time. The bathroom door was open, so I walked in and turned on the light, but to my surprise, there she was with some guy in the bathtub, doing things you typically wouldn't do in an unlocked room. I apologized and found a different bathroom. About an hour later, she came downstairs where the rest of us were and locked in on my boyfriend and made a beeline for him. Keep in mind, I'm right next to him. She tries to sit on his lap, and when he pushes her off of him, she pops back up like a demented jack-in-the-box and immediately starts screeching about how she was just playing "you aren't even hot and you could do so much better than her" to him. We stayed another hour or so and left. A week later, she was blowing up the guy's phone that she hooked up with, telling him she was pregnant. When he didn't believe her, because honestly, who would after just a week, she tried to press charges for rape. I do know my boyfriend and I both had to talk to a police officer because we were both there and I was the one that walked in on them. I don't know what happened after that, but the charges were eventually dropped. 2009, my husband and I are 22 and she is 18. We are now married and living on the East Coast because he's in the military. We come home for his parents' 4th of July party and get tasked with going to get more ice. He runs in to pay and I'm standing by the ice chests outside waiting for him, and guess who shows up? She walks straight up to me and says something along the lines of she's glad I finally learned my place and that her and my husband have been so happy together for the last year. She also made some very vulgar comments about their bedroom life. I don't even have time to react to her when he comes back outside and she goes pale and then bright red. This crazy bitch then has the audacity to look at my husband and ask him what he wants for dinner that night and try to remind him of plans they have that weekend to go to the lake with her family, while he just stands there staring at her like a dumbass and then asks if he knows her. I absolutely lose it and almost piss myself from laughing as she stalks off. Once we are back to his parents, he gets a FB friend request from her and deletes it. Over the period of 3 days, she sends him 4 or 5 friend requests, so he blocks her. We go back to NC the following week and forget all about her, again. 2010, I am now 7 months pregnant with our daughter and we fly back to our hometown one last time before she's born. Of course, run into Kos again at Walmart. I know how it sounds, but we're from a town of about 5,000 people, so you kind of see everyone all the damn time whether you want to or not. I'm noticeably pregnant as I'm about 7 meters long. I'm also only 5 feet 2 inches and at the time weighed about 115 pounds, so it was very clearly a baby bump. She is with her sister and they seem to be following us, but we try to ignore them. We are now checking out and again they are right behind us, still acting like children, but in her defense she was 19-ish at the time. We are still ignoring them and her sister says fairly loudly he'll dump her now that she's fat. We continue to ignore them and leave the store. Later that day, a friend tells us to check Facebook, and lo and behold, there is a picture of me in the snack aisle with a caption, "When you catch your surrogate buying nothing but junk food," and so many comments agreeing how horrible I am. This psycho had been telling everyone that I was the surrogate for her and my husband's baby. We filed en row the next day, 2018. We moved back to our hometown and buy my family's farmland to start our own cattle business. Highly don't recommend if you like to be able to make and keep plans, see your family, or take vacations. As far as we know, she has gotten married and is living her life away from us. About 6 months into us being back, we get a letter in the mail from a family lawyer saying my husband needs to present himself for a paternity test, and we were being sued for child support. Apparently the baby girl came out white and Kos's husband was not. She told her husband that my husband had raped her and that it was his baby. Charges were filed, and thankfully we were still in North Carolina at the time of conception, and the Army is very meticulous about know where their soldiers are at all times. The rape charges were immediately dismissed, as was the paternity test and child support. We filed another row and installed cameras all over our property. Her husband ended up adopting the baby and they stayed together. 2020, she makes the front page of our town paper. Apparently Kos had had another baby girl who also did not match her husband's skin tone. He kicked her and the kids out, and one night she came back to his house, in full view of his security cameras, in her own car, with the kids, and set his porch on fire. The husband got temporary custody of the girls for about 2 years while Kos was in jail. 2023, she gets the girls back and dips out of state. The husband files a police report and everyone is looking for her. Unfortunately, the husband passes in a car accident the same year. 2025, I'm doom scrolling on Reddit and see a story that sounds very familiar, and here we are. Reasons I thought it was her from the other post. Her and the girls' ages. We knew she had a baby boy recently. She has a history of theft and immediately playing the victim when caught. We still have a few mutuals on the FB, so I do see her posts from time to time, and knew she moved in with the new guy, Op's brother from the other post, about a year and a half ago. Well, I think that's the meat and potatoes of it. I'll be around later this afternoon to answer any questions. I may have some of the dates off, but hell, my memory is trash these days and I try not to think about her or any of those crazies. Update 3. COS update. Hey all, this is probably going to be the last COS update for a while. It's been a rough 48 hours between some issues we're having on the farm due to 4 days straight of rain and COS finding the posts about her. I'll try to be brief but give you guys an update as to what's going on. I have been in contact with the op from the first post and have permission to include a couple updates from her situation as well. COS has been arrested. Her girls are safe with the op's brother and they are all back at his house. She found the posts and went feral with comments and even a post which included a picture of my husband she took from my Facebook that I have since had to deactivate. We called our local sheriff department about the harassment and learned she had an active warrant. I was able to get in touch with OP to find out exactly where she was and they contacted the law enforcement agency in that area and they went and got her. We have pressed charges as well. Right now she's looking at stalking, harassment, child endangerment, resisting arrest and assault on an officer, among the charges she already had pending. I knew what might happen if I responded to OP's post, but I do not regret reaching out to her or exposing her antics. What matters is everyone is safe and she is being held without bond. Update from OP. The girls are safe with my brother and he has all 3 children. He has been awarded temporary guardianship and will be getting them into counseling in the coming week. I tried to press charges but as the items never left my home, I was unable to. We will have the results of the paternity test next week as well, but no matter the outcome he will be trying to get full rights to my nephew. Update 4. Good morning all. I have a couple updates for you but first we need to discuss some things. I appreciate all the love we are getting from this but some of you need to check yourselves. I will not be posting pictures of her. I will not be linking articles. I will not be posting mugshots. I will not be posting her court records. While yes, all of this is public record and can be found online, it will also expose our names, address and personal information. If you ask, you will be blocked. If I have to block enough people I will delete this account and then no one will get updates. Sorry to be an ass but this is our lives, our home, and I have to put us and our children's safety first. I have also had a few questions on why we moved back with all of this going on every time we came home. This farm has been in my family for over 120 years, and I will not be giving that up over her. Now on to the updates. COS is still in jail and will be held there until her court date in the coming months. After which she will be transferred back to where she was arrested to face charges there that include child endangerment, resisting arrest, and assault on an officer. We have had a few people ask if we are safe and yes we are. We have security cameras that run 24/7 on all structures, barns, houses, sheds, garages, everything, out here both inside and out. And well yes part of the reason we have them installed was because of her, the main reason is we own a working cattle farm. Farm accidents happen all of the time and our insurance is a lot less if we have them so no, we're not just being paranoid like a few have hinted at. I mentioned in a comment that her brother owns a trucking company that we work closely with so I was able to fill him in on everything going. He is talking to Oop's brother to take in the girls and they have a family court hearing on Friday and will hopefully be living with their uncles soon. He is a really good guy and his wife is amazing. If they were anything like COS they would not be working for us, and I believe they are the girls' best option for a normal upbringing. Now on to the baby boy. Chase is the father. He already has a lawyer and given the circumstances should be able to get full custody and rights to him going forward. I will update again after the hearing on Friday, as we will be going with him to help him get the girls. As far as I know COS has not reached out to check on them since being arrested. Oh and no, her late husband's accident was not her doing. He was driving home one night after being at the bar and went off the road. He was found the next day and there were no signs of foul play. It was determined the most likely cause was he was intoxicated, an animal ran out in front of him and he swerved to miss it but hit a tree. Update 5. 5 months later. Hey all, it's been a minute. I don't know if anyone even cares anymore but I have a final update. The girls are now in the custody of their uncle, COS's brother, and his wife. They started school this fall and doing absolutely great. They are a little behind but are so smart and catching up quick. Baby boy is with his dad and also doing great. COS is locked up and will be for at least the next 3 to 5 years. She pled guilty to a lot which expedited the process but did reduce the jail time. She signed her rights away to the baby but not the girls. That is still ongoing unfortunately.